Yeah, we're live. Welcome to the pre-show. This is the part of the show where we talk about what we're actually going to do on the show. So it's a teaser, and it's brought to you by SpinWizComics.com.
Spinwiz Comics.
Basically, it's free comics, y'all. Over 400 titles, more and more every week. 86 different indie creators. Again, more and more every week. All kinds of great publishers: SourcePoint Press, Tidal Wave, Marcosia, A Wave Blue World, Arcana. They're pretty awesome, and yeah, it's free comics. Where the hell is that video? You figured I'd be up on this. I don't know why anyone would figure that. Hashtag creator-owned comics. That's pretty cool. I should start saying that as part of this. I should really plan this better.
Why
Anyway,
would you start now?
I know Android
Why would
app.
you start trying now?
There's an Android app and there's an iOS app. Go out there, go get this app, download free comics. Duh. Yeah, it was a pretty uneventful news week, but we do have some news and some sad news that actually dropped today.
There was some sad news that happened.
Oh man, but we are definitely talking about that. I got two pieces of food news, one just as shitty as the other one. So
well, that's not good.
At least I'm consistent.
What shit are they putting in our food?
It's nothing bad. It's nothing. I'm not going to have like an expose. This isn't Aaron Brockovich or whatever.
This isn't the jungle.
No moment of destruction this week. That's kind of a heartbreaker.
Yeah, I didn't read that Transformers My Little Pony crossover.
Oh, that doesn't count.
Yeah.
That doesn't count. There was a toy release. There's like a Starscream Bumblebee studio series or something, but it's from the Bumblebee movie, so not that movie's bad, but the robot designs in that are still not great, dude.
No, I mean, well, they got
stuff on Cybertron at the beginning.
The Cybertron stuff in the beginning was great, but once they got back to Earth again, they still fucked it up because who was the bad guy in that one? It was Blitzwing, right?
Blitzwing, but he looked like Starscream.
But they made Blitzwing look like Starscream.
And he wasn't even a triple changer.
Yeah.
No excuse. Ten of Swords, holy crap. What can you even say?
Well, we better figure it out since we have a whole segment about it, yeah.
Oh, man. I was blown away. It's been a long time since I've had to read two comics at the same time simultaneously to fully understand the full scope of what is actually going on creatively. But holy crap, what an experience. My wife's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Pick a book. What are you doing? She wasn't, but. And then, yeah, top three.
Indiana Jones, I'm trying to decipher this shit.
Yeah, leave me alone. No shit. Be short round. Just shut the hell up. We also talking about what we've got going on. After this show, obviously, the Geekterion collection will be coming up. We're talking about The Matrix. One of the best sci-fi movies ever made, honestly. I mean,
definitely.
Definitely
one of the most influential.
Yeah, without a doubt. And the great part about that is it's influenced by so many things.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? It's just one of those...
Kung Fu cinema, definitely.
Yeah. A lot of fiction, a lot of like novelized fiction, from books and stuff.
Do you guys remember back when The Matrix first came out, all those movies that were really abusing bullet time for a while there?
Oh, yeah. They had video games that were doing it.
Max Payne.
That was Max Payne's whole gimmick, yeah.
It was bad. It was so... Max Payne. I hated that shit. But yeah, we're going to talk about The Matrix. What a cool movie to talk about. That's TBD. I'm not sure. I need to get my shit together and just come up with a schedule. Maybe
why start now?
Maybe I'll get like a Google Calendar and share it out to. What are you shaking your head? Because you're still gonna come to me. Hey, when are we doing that show?
It's not that hard. You just make like the second week of every month one show.
That's too much of a commitment. I need more flexibility than that. And then also top 5. That's another show that we do. The next one is graphic novels trade paperbacks. I think I'm done with that, but honestly, I got hammered drunk Saturday night last night. And I opened up my list and I'm like, I hate all my choices.
I hate it all.
I hate all my choices. Yeah. But maybe that's just drunk Gomer and maybe I will be okay. So we'll see. Anything else you guys want to add to the pre-show about? Because I know in December we're doing Gremlins for the Geek Tyrion collection.
Yep. That's the correct plan.
That's gonna be
fun.
That's gonna be fun too.
I kind of want to continue the conversation we were having before we started here by asking you guys, what are your favorite Dungeons and Dragons classes to play as?
I am a simple man. I prefer a fighter. Now I know everyone's like, hold on though. I know everyone's like, oh man, that sounds just so simple and straightforward. Dude, there are a million different fighters you can play.
Yeah, like in 5th edition.
I'm especially a fan of 3 and 3.5 / Pathfinder. And with the way they work skills and stuff in there, dude, you have especially in the fighter class. There are so many different things you can do.
Yeah, back in Pathfinder.
Oh, hey, Yule. Yule's over there. Hold on a second. Yule's over there doing a wrestling podcast on YouTube called The Wrestling Council. Awesome. I am not a pro wrestling fan, but I am a big fan of Yule. Yeah, go check them out. They're all over the place. Just search The Wrestling Council, and they'll pop right up. Thanks for dropping by, Yule. I appreciate it. So go ahead, Taylor. Back to D&D.
But just like legitimately fighters, like back in 3.5 when you had all the feat trees you could go down.
Yes.
And
it was really fun being a fighter back then.
In 5th edition, they probably are the best damage dealing class. I mean, especially if you're like a battle master or something.
Well, they should be the best, like physical damage dealing.
Yeah. Barbarians could always outpower them in certain circumstances, of course, and that's in 3 and Pathfinder.
Barbarians are better at taking it. Fighters are better at dishing it out.
Sure.
And then paladins, you just get to smite and cast spells.
Taylor will get me crying. Yeah.
But no, fighters are great.
I'm usually when I play, I like to be druid. I like to I like all the animal stuff.
And then you also get the spells too. It's really robust. You know, there's a lot of options.
All kinds of stuff. You get some nice animal companions too. And then I also have a nice mischievous side to myself, so I like playing as a rogue.
I don't mind playing a rogue. Rogues are boring in combat, dude.
They're boring in combat,
especially in 5th edition. Rogues are bullshit.
Are they OP?
They really are.
Even in 3rd, man, even in 3rd edition, once you were able to hide in shadows well enough, and move, you could backstab so easy, and all these multipliers wrapped up on that.
Oh, so many multipliers!
It was so much fun because you did all this damage, but it's like, okay, by like the 3rd or 4th encounter, you're like, all right, I'm gonna hide in shadows.
My sneak attack.
Do my sneak attack with my cool poke.
I mean, your sneak
attack kind of boring,
like especially at high levels, it gets legitimately ridiculous how many dice you get to roll for that.
Yeah, dude. So much fun.
It also gets to the point where like you get all the skill buffs where like you cannot fail at certain skills after a while. Like you literally can't.
Well, you can throw fighter levels in there and get the two-handed combat and then get a bonus off that. That was like one of the main things you could do in 3.5 as just taking one level of fighter just so you could grab that feat, that two-handed feat. Gave you like a +3, +4 or something on both hands. It was amazing. Anyway, awesome. That was a fun diversion.
I guess we should start the show.
Yeah, let's start the damn show. Again, this was brought to you by
SpinWizComics.
Go out there and check them out. Also, iOS and Android. But yeah, let's start the show. We're way behind. Not that there's a schedule, but there's a whole lot to talk about.
Not really. I mean, we're skipping whole segments.
I hate this.
It
is revolting.
Actually.
More, please.
I love that one so much.
That's a good clip.
It works so well for us. That's just before he screws over Jordy because of feelings. I got feelings now. Worst thing ever. Greetings, geeks! Welcome back to another episode of This Geek in Comics, our Geekery's comic book shit talk show. I am your co-host Gomer. With me, as always, the two wheels to my third wheel, Adam Normal and Taylor. AK David will be back soon and will be a working shopping cart again.
It's a developing situation. We'll
I hope
find
so.
out.
I miss
Yeah,
David.
yeah, it is. He's all dramatic about it in the little message we had. He's like, all right, this is what's going down. My boss said to me, and he heard through the grapevine. And I'm like, whoa. Just let me know if you're showing up.
I'm ready for him to start sitting videos, of himself like hiding in a closet, being
or
like,
in his truck,
right,
like, man,
this
you'll
is
never
what's
believe what happened to me
What's
today. So yeah,
It's great though. Hey, we miss you, David. Please come back as soon as you can, dude.
Come back. He don't listen to this. Anyway, segment 1, where we just talk about, whatever we want to talk about. And I mean, what a week in a year that all you can really say about the year is, holy crap, what a year. In the worst way possible. But I would say it ended, I don't want to get political at all in any way, shape, or form. But it was nice to finally have an answer. It was nice to have one on a Saturday. And it was nice to drink and see people happy about stuff. And
a lot of people
I had a
celebrating.
lot of fun with a lot of memes. He does. It is. I know. It's awesome. It's a happy coincidence. But it was nice to have a pretty good day for once on Saturday. So, and my week was just shit, man. It was like this turbulent whirlwind of personal, public, and private stuff that just hit me from all different sorts of angles. And I ended up having like an hour-long meeting with my boss on the chat over stuff I was doing at work, and it was a lot. Okay,
it was a lot.
It's just nice to have this one. But anyway, yeah. So how was y'all's guys' week since last time we did this?
My weekend's been great. I've been digging through some of my old stuff, getting some holiday stuff out. Not putting anything up yet because we still got Thanksgiving to go through.
But my tree's up. My tree's been up since last Saturday.
I just pulled some stuff out. But while I was pulling stuff out,
year. I
found my old Nintendo 64.
Oh,
so
nice.
I've been playing Pokemon Stadium all weekend.
Oh,
so
sweet.
I've been having a great time.
Do you still have the peripheral where you could load up your Game Boy Color version of Pokemon?
Oh yeah, I do. I need to go find my red and my yellow.
Yeah, I still have
that
all my
blew
old games.
my 10-year-old mind. Like, oh yeah, it's my Charizard. I'm gonna go kick the crap out of these guys.
That's awesome. That's fun.
Yep.
It's amazing, what counted as a novelty, back in the late 90s and early 2000s.
Hey, whatever, man. Don't knock
3D polygons. Whoa.
Star Fox still blows my mind, dude.
Star Fox
64 is the shit.
They have not.
You could argue they haven't made.
They have not made a better one. You are correct.
No, not the same. No, they haven't. But no,
I never did play that one for the Wii U, but I didn't hear good stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, I do have my
never
Christmas
got a Wii U,
stuff up. Before this year, I was a very, very firm stickler for the rule of no Christmas stuff till the day after Thanksgiving, and that was sort of a tradition.
So this year's sort of just like a fuck it kind of year.
Exactly.
Well, honestly,
forget it kind of year. I don't care.
If there's any year
I may do Hanukkah too. I may do Hanukkah too this year. I haven't decided yet. I just may do it all.
Thanksgiving's kind of threadbare this year anyway. Like,
yeah. Yeah,
I love playing my Game Boy on the big screen.
Yeah,
it was great.
Rad. But yeah,
especially on the GameCube when you had that Game Boy Advanced, you could play that on the big screen. Oh
yeah, like if you were playing Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, you had
you could do that.
You could play your Game Boy Advance as your controller.
Oh,
my
Crystal
brother and
Chronicles,
I used to do that when we were kids.
But yeah, you were saying, Taylor, Thanksgiving is
Thanksgiving's going to be kind of threadbare this year anyway, right? I mean, there's not going to even be a parade. There's probably not going to be as much traveling to see family and whatnot. So Thanksgiving's kind of a wash,
Yeah, we're not doing anything for Thanksgiving. Just the fam in the house, We're not going to go out and
not doing anything.
We usually don't do that anyway, except for my wife's thing. My wife's thing usually has 75 to 125 people.
Oh, wow.
It's like last time we counted, dude, right?
Oh, ouch. Jeez.
Yeah.
So
family. There's no way I'm doing that this year, man.
Yeah.
And it's not all at the same time. I would say that it's usually 60 people all at the same time, average.
That's insane.
But they duck in and out, all day. You know what I mean? It's that sort of thing.
Right.
Dude, my wife's got like 60 some cousins, and they got
Yeah.
kids, and they're old now, and they're driving, and they got friends, and they got kids, and they got, you know what I mean? So
Sure.
it's always just a lot of people. And I'm like, dude, there's no way we can swing that. Because usually there is no social distancing. Usually you're like, man, if you go up and take a piss, your seat is mine. You know what I mean? It's that sort of thing.
Right.
And I don't know.
But
So
you know what? If
man,
ever
my
there
old lady's
was
got
a
to work.
year,
My old lady's got to work anyway.
if ever there was a year to like sit around and like consider what you have and be thankful for it, I would say that it is this year. So maybe that can
Amen,
be
brother.
our Thanksgiving this year.
Amen, brother.
Get back to the core of it, you know.
Yep. Video games and shopping the next day on Friday.
Online.
Let's
Don't
do
go to the
Definitely
stores.
online this year.
Don't
I always
call
shop
giant
online.
herds.
I always shop online. Let's do the
If ever there was
I love interrupting Taylor, though. If I had to interrupt either of you, it would be Taylor. All right, let's do the bad news. The bad news first, but we're gonna celebrate a life. Another comment. I have fond memories of kicking Taylor's ass, Smash Brothers. Sweet.
bullshit.
Whatever, man. You guys can fight that out on your
I
own
believe
time.
them.
Yeah, we have some sad news. The passing of a legend, an icon in
Yep.
more ways than one, really. Alex Trebek, 80 years old, died today, or at least it was announced today. My comment on it, dude, he nurtured a safe space for smart people, like for nerds.
Oh, he
And-
definitely did.
And by smart people, I don't necessarily mean like only people who were intelligent and who knew the answers. But even if you didn't know the answers, you were curious about the trivia. You know, you were curious about growing that knowledge and expanding on your
Mhm.
knowledge. And he's a legend. I mean, I should have grabbed a picture of the Saturday Night Live, skit, but I mean, he'll always be that guy. They'll never be able to
Yeah.
fully replace him. Early rumor is they're going to get Ken Jennings to replace him, which works.
That's as
You
good
know?
as
That
anything
works.
else, I guess.
That works.
Yeah,
I mean,
but-
to me, he'll always be the guy who beat the shit out of Adam Sandler on.
That was Bob Barker, you idiot.
yeah, that was Bob Barker.
Was that Bob
was
Barker? Oh my
Yes.
gosh! Oh
Close
shit.
one though, close one. I thought you'd have the mustache went away. Yeah, not bad.
Uh,
What is in
but-
poor taste, William?
But Alex Trebek was an institution, you know? He was like...
Yes.
Yeah, Alex Trebek and Sean Connery.
Yeah.
And that's the thing
Oh,
about that SNL
that did not occur
skit.
to me until you just said that, but
That's
yeah.
the thing
Yeah.
about that weird
That-
SNL
Within like
skit,
a week
man.
of each other, roughly.
Yeah.
Man.
I also remember Alex Trebek because I was a big fan of game show hosts. He did a show called Classic Concentration, where it's like the match memory. Remember that memory where you had to remember where the cards were? And then they would reveal the cards, and it would be like this cryptic puzzle that you'd have to put together. It was freaking weird, dude. But Alex
Okay.
Trebek, if people guessed wrong, he would like almost dog them. Like, you know what I mean? Like player hate him out. Like, oh, you ain't bad. Oh, it was great. But my dad and I, man, we didn't have much when we hung out. We had Star Trek, but we also had Jeopardy. So, and that was
I
about
mean,
it. My dad
he's
hated
been in
everything.
Americans' living rooms for decades now. He's one of those people that I can't think of anyone who has anything bad to say. At least you do, William. At least you do.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
You got that going for you. Will.
Yes, you do. I don't.
Oh, that's
Price
funny.
is wrong.
But yeah, that sucks for. I mean, we have lost, and there are no game show hosts anymore. You know, the golden age of game shows is dead. You know, it's over. There's only
Pretty much.
the college watched Price is Right, the aforementioned Price is Right, Adam, and that's not even Bob Barker anymore.
No,
But,
it's not. It's Drew Carey now.
Wheel of Fortune.
Well, I'm
and
not hearing you
Jeopardy.
say a
That's
bad
it.
word about Drew Carey, but whatever.
Oh no, man, Drew Carey is another. He hasn't quite earned it yet, just because of the
Oh no,
comparisons.
that's
but,
completely fair. I mean, but
he's-
Alex Trebek,
he's amazing.
like stretches back in like living memory for most people. You know,
Yeah, I think he hosted that show for like 35 damn years.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Anybody else got news? Because I got some more. Because I know you guys.
The only other news I had this week was that Grant Morrison came out as non-binary.
Oh yeah.
They're non-binary. He said he's been that, or they have been that for 50 years, or something like that. Good on them
Yep.
for doing that. I wish it would have been a more profound thing in terms of inclusion and representation. I'm not sure it's the most beneficial time to do that, but I'm sure there's no beneficial time to do that in terms of
there's probably no
someone
great
doing it
time.
for anybody else. And that's not
Right.
something you announce or come out with for anybody else but yourself. So props to them. And
Yep.
I wish Var Sector was better. I mean, what else can I say? We're a comic book show. I wish Far Sector was written fucking better, or whatever that damn book he's writing.
You mean Green Lantern?
He writes
right.
Green Lantern.
He writes Green Lantern.
Yeah, that book
Yeah.
sucks. The Far Sector book is actually good.
Far Sector book's actually okay. Yeah.
That one.
Yeah, the Green Lantern book is the one that he's writing, and it's all over the place. Liam Sharp's fantastic in it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I haven't picked it up in a while. I think when it was the end of season 1 or whatever it is they're doing.
Right.
I don't think I picked. It wasn't like a conscious choice to be like, I'm done with this book. It was more.
It did a weird thing where it changed to a new series, so it was really
Yeah.
easy to lose.
There was a hiatus, and I just never picked it back up.
I was reading it was like the Death Stars or whatever the hell they were, the
Black
Stars.
Yeah, that was dope. That was cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And then it sort of went.
Well,
I read the
Grant-
first issue of Volume 2, and I did not care for it.
Grant Morrison is
Yeah.
always really hit or miss, I think, most of the time. When
Agreed.
when they are on, they are stellar. Other times they just, I don't know what the fuck you're saying, dude.
Yeah.
He needs to focus on the issues where he can focus on something. There's this one issue in this Green Lantern run where it was just Hal in a space hospital that's getting attacked by antimatter lanterns. And it's just him injured in the space hospital trying to get from point A to point B with all of these injured people. And that issue was awesome. But then all the other issues
That's
where
in
it's
Volume
just,
2, though.
that's in Volume 2, yeah. But on all the other issues where it's just Grant Morrison doing some cosmic bullshit that I just can't grasp my head around. It's all out there, man.
Yeah, they did do that, the old Dark Stars, and that was fine because you shouldn't use the Dark Stars name unless that's what you're using. And the Black Stars were quite a bit different.
Yeah, they were different
in a lot of ways. So, but they were at their root the same thing, like space Nazis, kind of. Yeah, bad.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Marvel Comics joins Disney in making staffers redundant. John Nee was a publisher at Marvel Comics.
Yeah, he got fired.
There's also Judy Stevens, a producer who worked on a variety of projects at the publisher. The podcast over the Women of Marvel podcast make me hear stuff like that. So that sucks. I think it just shows a direction that things tend to go in terms of conglomerates owning companies, comic book publishers. When it hits the fan in all departments. That's what they say. I want cuts in all departments because that's a politically correct thing to do. You can't say, nah, Marvel Comics is good. You can't just say that. So, of course, they're going to look for somebody to get rid of. And they're like, all right, we'll just can this guy, this
and then
editor.
With a lot of these global conglomerates, there are a lot of, redundancies. There's a lot of people doing the same job in different areas. So, like you said earlier, that whole division that got cut out, it's sad. But it is what it is.
It is what it is. Taylor, do you have any news? Are you going to contribute anything to this episode at all, or
fuck you, Gomer?
That's the best contribution.
That it really
so
is.
Far.
It gets. That's what people are tuning in for.
Well, no, I don't really have much news.
I got a lot to talk about on Donny Cates.
Later. Yeah, me
like
too.
Right now. Marvel Comics has trademarked Black Tide, and this is why. King in Black Namor #3 by Kurt Busiek, Ben Dewey, and Jonas Scharf. Lionel Francis Yu has done this cover. Obviously, you can tell by the face.
It's a nice cover.
This is the solicit for this particular issue. The Black Tide lay waste to all that lies before them, cutting a swath of devastation and death across the ocean floor. Obviously, it's some watery ass symbiotes doing their thing. Whatever. That's in shops January 13th, by the way, $4. But there you go. I don't know. It was a very light week for the news, obviously.
Yeah, so maybe you cannot hassle me about not having any.
I know. I had to though, just because I did scrape the bottom of the damn barrel to find something. But
Gotta
yeah,
have standards, Gomer. Jeez.
yeah. We'll just sit here and not talk at all.
Just
I
move
got
on to the
no
next thing,
news.
man. Move on to your food crap.
All right, the food news this week is awesome. I got two of them. The first one is, here it is: Little Debbie oatmeal cream pie cereal. What?
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 Cereal?
The iconic Little Debbie oatmeal cream pie is celebrating its 60th anniversary this year. Believe it or not. These frosting-covered oatmeal cookie cereal pieces will officially land on store shelves nationwide in December. The suggested retail price is $4 for 9 ounces and $6 for 14 ounces. There you go.
I see the oatmeal part. Where's the cream part come in?
I guess that's your milk.
It's infused, bro. Come on,
Yeah.
it's infused.
It turns your milk
Okay.
into cream.
That sounds
Impressive.
gross. That sounds gross.
Yeah, that wouldn't be fun to eat, but
Last bit of food news, and this is my favorite one. There's a cheese advent calendar, man.
okay.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, it's $17 at Sam's Club. A new cheese treat every day leading up to the big day. Come on, man. I love cheese, bro.
You got yeah, do you remember that time Steve brought us all that cheese
Yeah,
to eat?
Red
Oh, yeah,
Shirt
yeah.
Steve.
Cheese cast is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a cheese cast. It was delicious. It would be best. Oh, they look like burnt Cheerios. Yeah, they do.
Little
Well,
bit,
we're
yeah.
gonna try them, Ethan. I'm gonna get a bowl. Since you didn't talk. Wait, take that back. I love oatmeal. I don't think that was oatmeal.
Probably not.
I think it was
Well,
just.
they were oatmeal cream pie, so I guess
don't think
oatmeal
that
must be in the
counts.
flavor
I
somewhere.
don't think that counts. Awesome. Well, that's all for the news this week. It was very disappointing and terrible. There's no moment of destruction. Shwing! Ten of Swords, the big X-Men crossover event going on at Marvel Comics. Why does cereal cost more than weed? I don't know, man. That's a good question, bro.
That is a good question.
Damn good question.
Supply and demand, man. Supply
I don't
and
know,
demand.
man.
No, I mean, legitimately, it probably could be chalked up to supply
Go ahead,
and demand.
Taylor.
No, let's not get into it. But either way.
Ten of Swords, the big X-Men's event going on over there at Marvel Comics. I'm a huge fan of this. We're going to talk about X-Men number 14 first. Jonathan Hickman, Mahmoud Asrar, with a little bit of help from Lionel Francis Yu in a very creative way. This book was pure genius. This is the story of Arako and Ament as told by the unreliable narrator Summoner in X-Men number 12, but it's retold by Genesis / Annihilation in this X-Men number 14 by reusing all of those pages.
Yeah, a lot of recycled art in this one.
It was all of them.
It's either a plus or a negative depending on how you look at it.
That's true, man. I actually have that in my notes about, did they play us? But did we like getting played?
Like
I love this.
I like it, but I also paid full price for a book I already paid for.
Whatever, William. But it wasn't the same book. It was.
I know it wasn't, but it kind of was.
Wasn't it though?
It was a unique take on a way to tell a comic book story.
Okay, yeah, like I think that it's a reasonably clever play, to take us through the same slideshow, but with a different person presenting it.
Right.
Especially considering that he telegraphed Summoner as an unreliable narrator, like right from the get-go. You know what I mean? So we knew that story, there was more to it.
You should never trust Hickman's monochrome characters.
Oh, without a doubt.
Oh, never.
Oh, without a doubt.
Never.
If they're black and white, there's something up. There's something wrong with them. But we have a lot more clarity on character interactions between the various actors on the Iraqi side. Like the White Sword's repeated resurrections, changing his character a little bit. That was rad, you know. Yep. Iska the Unbeaten's betrayal wasn't really her betraying anyone. It was just her following her mutant power.
It was her mutant power, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, that'll blow your mind. That's got layers to it that it's like, no, that doesn't make sense. But in a way, it makes
she can't
perfect
lose,
sense.
so she went with the side that was going to win.
She had to.
Yep.
She had to.
She had to. Ah, freaking blew my mind, dude. Freaking blew my mind. Amenth interbreeding with kidnapped Iraqi or whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a great. I don't think we need to get into that either. Holy crap! That's
There's a bit of a delay on the chat messages.
yeah. No, we understand that, and we can go back. But man, I don't think we need to get into
So
what
Oregon,
Oregon's been doing. I think they should do
Oregon's
that
doing
all
all
over.
kinds of
But hey,
stuff.
whatever.
whole kinds of parties.
Oh yeah, I
going
guess
on
we
over
could have
there.
had that in the news. This doesn't seem very like geek centric, I guess.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
But either way.
Anyway, I meant interbreeding with mutants to have sort of this moral higher ground where if you're going to fight, you're going to be killing your own now in this weird way, you know.
It's very Lord of the Rings. They're like making their own Urukai or something. It's weird.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. We get the full story and the backstory for Genesis and Annihilation and the Mask, but there's also this depth to the specific relationship problems between Apocalypse and Genesis. Like
Mhm.
she sort of resents him for failing, just like she did, but also appears to be more than okay with basically using Amenth and the Mask to reach her final end. Her ultimate end was reunification
right.
of Araco and Krakoa, and she's willing to let this mask help her out.
Right.
if
but
that's
at the
what it
same
takes.
time, though, the mask is also using her to
Yeah.
achieve its goals also. And
Yeah.
when is the mask going to take over her?
The mask sort of is. She sort of alluded to that, saying, no, the mask wants it, so I want it. So the mask is
Right.
pretty much in charge. But she also said, if you murder the person wearing the mask, then you got to take the mask. Apocalypse is going to
yeah.
murder her.
Oh, yeah. He's definitely going to have that mask by the end of this.
I mean, it being granted that the X-Men are going to win, yeah, someone on the crew, probably Apocalypse, is going to become the new Annihilation.
Apocalypse. He's probably
Yeah.
Probably.
Who do you think's going to die? I think Gorgon's going to die for
Yeah.
sure. Gorgon, I think, is going to die. I think
I hope
Brian's
not. I
going
like
to
him.
die. I also think Brian's going to die.
Yeah, I would put money on Brian dying.
Yeah.
We don't need a Captain Avalon or whatever the hell that is.
Well, so
Yeah,
they
no
just
shit.
created that identity, though.
I
I feel like
don't
they
think
don't
it
wanna-
matters. I don't think it matters.
Maybe not, but
Yeah.
I feel a bit mixed on this issue because I feel like there was nothing truly game changing that we didn't already know, or at least could be fairly certain about.
I'm
That
kind
being
of
said-
with Taylor on that one. You know, it is nice to put some stuff into stone if we can believe Genesis as this narrator.
Sure.
Right. But at the same time, all the stuff we did learn, it wasn't anything that blew my mind, you know.
Well, I actually did have my mind blown with the parallels to that trick, dude. That clever little trick where he just reused Lionel Francis Hughes pages from issue number 12.
Mhm.
I adored that, dude. I thought that was so cool. And this issue built depth to all of the characters.
Yeah,
right?
It did.
You know, the white sword, it gave him something to look in. Iska the Unbeaten, it gave her almost this way out, you know, this way she can be redeemed. You know what I'm saying? Also, the white sword, because he was forced to do all these resurrections because he was trying to help Araco. And then when Araco finally came back to him, he was so almost distorted by his own mutant power.
It had become like a religion to him, they said. This
so he was
constant cycle of resurrection.
So he was
But that is what
different. It gave
that
us
is
a
what I
lot
really-
of background, dude.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I really did like about this issue is the psychology of all of our Iraqi champions. That was
Yeah.
really cool.
Yes, I like that too. Does it not also, however, in the overall scope of Hickman's new status quo that he's established with the X-Men and the mutants on Krakoa and all that, where they are acting with more of a stronger arm in terms of their longstanding conflict with humanity? Is Araco a dark reflection of some slippery slope that Krakoa is on right now?
Oh, definitely.
Is Ament not humanity?
That's
to the
blasphemy,
Iraqis,
man. That's
Krakoa?
pretty in your face. I'm pretty sure Hickman's pretty in your face about that.
And well, this issue certainly pushed that very hard.
Oh
I
yeah,
thought.
this is definitely where Krakoa is headed
Yeah,
or can head.
exactly. Especially if Apocalypse is going to win this mask at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. Jim Carrey handled the mask better than geniuses. I'm going to forgive your typo again. Let me see. Anyway, could all of this have just been avoided like years and years and years ago if Apocalypse just said, hey, by the way, there's this Araco thing, and I think we can get there if we do a portal, maybe.
But Apocalypse doesn't talk about his feelings and his past and stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of ways to avoid this whole thing, should we move on now to Marauders?
Yes. Awesome segue, bro.
Yeah.
He's only been doing this for like 4 or 5 weeks, and he's already. Gary Duggan, Ben Percy, Stefano Caselli. This is Ten of Swords, Chapter 13. Pretty fun as we get the banquet before the battle.
Oh, I love this issue.
Yeah,
this was great.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. There's even a menu. Here's the menu of what they served, which was kind of gross.
Oh yeah, their stuff was gross. They're drinking like stuff that's like soaked in piss and like.
Yeah, it's weird, dude. But it's fairy piss, so it's like special. It's okay.
Good for them, I guess.
I don't know.
Oh, and they're like eating a bunch of his extinct animals and stuff from that place that the Iraqi dudes destroyed.
Yeah.
I like that they're eating over like sort of this lake thing where a bunch of mermaid people are swimming underneath.
Dude, yes.
Yeah.
I wish I had that panel. I don't have that one, but I do have this one of Brian actually saying the words Mortal Kombat. Death's on the horizon and Mortal Kombat is imminent.
Didn't spell it with a K though.
Yeah, right. Trademark Warner Brothers. Sorry.
Yeah. But it was really cool looking at all of the different champions interacting with each other, a lot of them for the first time. I loved Magic and Gorgon talking with Iska and like
testing.
Magic and Pogger Pog was great in this run.
Yeah. A lot of great stuff in here, like you said, with all of the different character moments. They did confirm that all of the fighting is going to happen on all of the different realms.
Yeah, this is straight up a fighting game. This is as simple of a story as you can get.
Did you guys catch this with War poisoning Logan?
They weren't exactly subtle about it. They literally drew a circle around it for us.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, but really, this is all kind of about Wolverine. You know, the whole story sort of revolves around him and his normal brooding self, his
calling people out on shit,
responsible self. He literally called out Brian and said, "Man, if you would just bang this chick, it would be over." Talking about Saturnine, and he's like, "Nah, I'm a respectable." He's like,
"I'm married. No,
whatever.
Just bang her."
Yeah. I mean, Wolverine had a good point there.
I mean, he does, but and then as usual, normal Wolverine style, he stabs before he thinks. And last page, he stabs Saturnine. Now we know that's bullshit. That's
There's no way he could have actually killed Saturnine.
There's no way they
like
the remaining 10 issues of this crossover are just going to be like, oh well, shit, what do we do now? And then
hey guys, you guys want to hang out and talk this out?
Yeah.
So a fun issue. The character moments were the best. Seeing these fighters actually maybe not fighting with their swords, but fighting with their words.
Yeah, I loved all the character interactions.
This was our first good look at a lot of the Iraqi people in general. It was really cool seeing Iska just being like, "Oh, it's cute. You're scoping me out. It doesn't matter. I'm going to kill you all."
Yeah. It was great when Cypher got the shit scared out of him. By,
he's a fish out of water.
Set aside, beta male.
And Redfoot wasn't even there, or Red Forest or whatever the hell.
This was our first time seeing Death where he's not all like melodramatic, and it was kind of fun. I liked him dancing with Storm.
Absolutely, and
it also kind of melodramatic, but in a different
he was melodramatic,
in a romantic
but not like
way,
stoic, grim, dark.
Stoic, I guess.
It was like stoic, man. You know what I mean? Like a true gentleman. Yeah. But that coming on all right, we're getting these intimate character moments. These are actually becoming like human beings, people, right? These are Rockies. But this coming off the heels of the last X-Men issue, where it's such a tragic story, where the 4 horsemen of Apocalypse, right? Their mother becomes their worst enemy and their leader in one fatal stroke. You know what I'm saying? And they're still following her And I'm sure they still love their dad. They still love Apocalypse.
War
As
very
much as you,
distinctly does not. She specifically said as she stabbed him.
she just got daddy issues, man. No,
Sure.
that's love. It's just a little twisted, you know.
The other ones also
Whatever.
did not stop her, you know.
Exactly,
They were very
dude.
complicit in that plan.
I'm just saying, there's like this family element here where, and not only that too, you feel bad for the White Sword. You kind of feel bad for Iska having to, dude. She turned her back on her family because of her mutant power. Her mutant power basically forced her to change sides. It
as
was
far as like the
weird, but awesome.
overarching story of this event, they're doing a great job right now of getting us to like these guys just before, a bunch of them are probably
gonna
start
die.
losing.
Yeah.
Just before the big fight. Yeah.
Like all the characters from the
exactly.
X-Men, who hopefully we already like by now, and all these characters from Morocco who are being endeared to us over these 2 issues.
And that's nice. I'm glad
Yeah.
they're taking their time with that. I'm glad they're making the characters worth it because honestly, they're really compelling characters. Every single one of them. From Pogger Pog all the way up to this Forest chick, whoever it is, The Blood
Yeah.
Moon, she's probably the least one I care about, but she's dope too. Or he, I'm not even sure. But yeah,
Is
dope
it B
character.
or Bay? How do you say her name? I wonder.
I'm saying Bay.
I've been saying Bay, yeah.
Yeah. B is Beyonce. So I don't think they would do that. Would they? All right, man. 10 of Swords. All right. Next week, it's Marauders 15, Excalibur
Big
14.
week next week, yeah.
And Wolverine number 7. It is a big week. It's a 3X book a week until the final crossover issue on November 25th. So, was that 3 weeks of this still? It's the 11th, and then, yeah, man. It's going quick. We'll have to find another segment. Maybe we'll all start reading the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers books.
Oh, maybe I didn't read it this week.
We're not. I didn't either. It's top 3. We read a whole lot of comics. We're going to put the top 3 on our stacks on a list, and whatever happens. Taylor, you want to go first?
Sure. For
honorable mentions first and number 3.
For an honorable mention, I'm actually going to do this reprint of Avengers number 57.
Weird. Okay, cool. The facsimiles.
Yeah. I actually really enjoyed that they had a bunch of old-timey advertisements in here as well for not actually like the old Charles Atlas things, but some thing that's basically that.
That's fun.
It's interesting going back and reading these things that are like these big iconic introductions to these long-standing characters, and there's a lot of weird quirks and foibles that don't really stand out in your memory, I guess. Basically Vision is I was sent here to kill you. But now that I'm thinking about it, Ultron does kind of suck, so forget that. There wasn't some big dramatic thing. He's like, now that I'm saying it out loud, I shouldn't do that.
Yeah. But more basic writing.
Yeah. I just had a lot of fun reading this, and I might pick up some more of these old-timey issues.
I am not a fan of those. I have spoken with other people who love reading those classic issues the way you're meant to do it without having to spend a bunch of money to get an actual paper copy. But yeah, they just don't interest me. But that's cool. They make them for a reason, Cool. Yeah. Good choice, Taylor.
What's your number 3?
Oh, for number 3, I actually had a hard time parsing, but I'm gonna go ahead and go with Avengers, Modern Avengers, number 38.
That one's an honorable mention for me. Yeah.
Yeah. They're basically doing a lot of setup here for this big brouhaha they're supposed to be having with Mephisto this week. Not a lot going on, but they've got the Phoenix on Earth, and apparently they have multi-dimensional Mephistos, and apparently Howard Stark is Mephisto's manservant now, and
bitch is the way I said it. When I
got that McGinnis art throughout it, so that right there sells that book for you.
The art really carried the issue
book.
a lot.
That Moon Knight at the beginning talking to Panther was, oh my God. It was amazing art. I was like, oh, I'm in for a show because they're just shutting up this Age of No Shoe, and then they're moving into, this, and then they just went on. and they gave me all this backstory. Like, are you just setting up, or are you gonna swing, man?
They are
Swing.
just setting
This
up.
issue was all set
I
up.
wanted
Yeah.
swing. I didn't get a swing. It would have
They're
made
not-
my top 3 too, man, because the art was epic on this, and I'm excited about this. Not to take away from it too much, because what is being set up is pretty compelling. Like you
It sounds really
said,
cool, and I am always down for reading Mephisto make bad deals with people. You know that deal he made with the guy at the beginning of the issue. I thought that was fantastic.
with the crossroads,
Yep.
yes, very fun, cool stuff.
Jason
dude.
Aaron kind of rivals. Who's the guy who does the Goon? Eric Powell.
Oh,
Eric
Uh,
Powell.
yeah.
He kind of rivals Eric Powell for writing these just hyper dark, brutal, like
Yeah.
scenarios where you see like the worst of humanity.
What do you think about Moon Knight not joining? It's just so weird to me.
I think
he
that
didn't
he's
join
going
the
to
team.
join eventually.
Yeah,
And
Yeah, it was really
honestly-
weird that they made such a big deal about him for him to go away really quick.
I'm sure he'll be back at some point, but
Yeah, he might show up at the end of this event or whatever they're setting up, because I'm sure this leads up to an event of some kind.
Like if
With
I
the
was
Marvel.
in the character's shoes though, and it was like, hey, guy who just like fucked us over sideways for like weeks, join the team. I too might have been like, I'll pass.
I
But
don't know.
I've proven that I don't need
yeah.
you.
But yeah,
It seemed like a lot of stuff thrown together at once, but it was a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, it looked
just-
great.
Yeah,
It
I'm
wasn't all
excited about the
connected at
future.
all. And that's been my main beef with this book overall. It's been a whole lot of cool stuff, but none of it seems connected to anything else. At one point, they even mentioned, oh man, Mephisto, and oh man, some vampires, and oh man, all this other stuff that we've been dealing with for 38 issues. I'm like, all right, let's get to it. And he's like, nah, I'm going to keep adding shit. Here's a Phoenix. Here's,
well, I mean,
you
to
know,
be fair, all the stuff with the like the Squadron Supreme that they've been doing,
Yeah,
that is
Squadron
directly
Supreme, the Russians.
but the
all
Squadron
of it,
Supreme
the
stuff
Beat.
does tie in with Mephisto because apparently Agent Coulson is also Mephisto's bitch now.
Mephisto's bitch.
Yep.
Yes.
He's
And
got
that's
his bitches in
cool.
all eras now, apparently.
That's awesome. It's like the Emperor in his hands, all over the place.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
It's interesting. That's cool shit, but it just seems like he's like, you just wait. I'm adding more cool shit. Just wait. And I'm like, dude, sooner or later, you're gonna have all this cool shit and none of it's gonna matter.
But
You're gonna have vampires versus Russians versus DC Squadron Supreme versus the fucking Phoenix Force somehow. Versus
It's gonna be so much at the
it's
same
gonna
time.
be like,
it's gonna
how
be
did
crazy.
you do
Yep.
this?
I
So I don't
trust
know.
Jason Aaron, so we'll see how
Oh,
it
me
pans
too.
out.
Me too.
But this beat out Batman and Thor from
Oh,
this week,
definitely.
both of which were significantly worse. So
Batman had some moments with
Had
the
moments.
Ghostmaker, but it did not carry
Ghostmaker
itself
fell
at
flat
all.
to me. He just seems like
He was
this
generic.
douchebag. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's
Ghostmaker is
generic as hell.
Like,
He's
yeah.
generic as hell. I wasn't expecting
his
second
name-
coming of, talent or anything like that.
I mean, he's basically
just a
just
bad
setting
guy.
up as like Bruce Wayne's Shadow the Hedgehog. He just like shows up and he's like, "Hey, Bruce. Oh, I'm sorry. Were you trying to recruit this nice master? Well, fuck you, Bruce. I'm doing it instead of you."
Oh, that's hilarious. It's
he came
true.
off so lame. It was.
Yeah.
But whatever.
I like
and
that he's-
apparently he's going to kill Clownmaker, but he's also brand new, so that's hard to feel invested in that either. So
Sure.
I don't know. I still like the Clown Hunter moment in this, and I like the Harley moment
He's
where she
fine.
got her little.
Oh,
apartment
okay, so I
done.
will say my favorite part of this issue was Harley getting her apartment.
It seems like Tiny is doing the same thing with this book very slowly that he did in his detective run, also very slowly, and that's building together a Bat family sort of coalition team.
building
thing.
sort of a stable, you know.
I would expect Ghostmaker to be
Characters.
on that team by the end of Tiny In's run.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Sure, why
He's
not?
too close to being a Bat character to not actually.
You know,
be...
I don't think he will abandon his own creation.
Yeah, sure. But what other book did you mention?
Thor, where
Oh yeah,
they're
Thor
actually,
with the Donald Blake.
yeah.
Very
See,
cool
okay,
concept though. I like the
is, but-
concept.
when I was reading it, I couldn't help but think back to when Matt Fraction did the same fucking
Well,
thing
What
a
is
few
what is the
years ago.
concept? I didn't read this
Okay,
issue.
in the tree, in the
Okay, so
world tree,
apparently,
there's
yeah. Well,
yeah.
so
Go ahead,
back
Taylor.
when Thor and Donald Blake were like swapping out which persona was in charge or whatever, apparently.
Right.
Okay, so the whole thing with Donald Blake has become some really convoluted bullshit because they've changed it so much since the
Yeah.
character was originally introduced. The
Mhm.
current continuity is that Odin made him as a persona for Thor so that he could be linked to humanity and learn humility. Originally, it was just he was a dude who found the stick and that let him switch places with Thor or whatever. Anyway, apparently, when Donald Blake is
It's all been so
Oh,
weird.
yeah, when he's not out in the
Yeah.
real world, apparently he is like in
In
this
the Matrix.
this idyllic like suburban stroll for all eternity. But apparently something went wrong and he went crazy in there. And now when he switches out, he is this hyper powerful like hippie asshole who just comes out and
It was a pretty cool thing
So
because
that Donald Blake is a dick now, basically. Is the
Yeah.
yeah, which is
Yeah.
why it reminds me of what Matt Fraction did because he did the same goddamn thing a few years ago.
Superior Thor is what we're doing now.
And not really.
Maybe.
Superior Donald Blake.
I understand what Donny Cates is doing with the book because he's been sort of exploring the darker aspects of Thor's entire backstory and sort of bringing it into the light and having Thor deal with it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And that's cool. Like we've always say when we're talking about Thor, coming off of Aaron's run with Thor, it's going to be very difficult to have something worth reading. I think this is a nice fresh take on an approach to the character.
For the most part, I've enjoyed
It's
the
like
run
emo.
so far.
It's like emo Thor. We're looking at all
I
Thor's
guess.
emo shit.
But this has been my least favorite issue of Cates' run so far. I've been mostly in his corner so far, like you're saying. It's never going to live up to Jason Aaron's, but nothing could. So I'm giving it its fair shake. I'm enjoying it for what it is so far, but this was my least favorite of his run.
Excellent honorable mention choices.
Yep.
Just to talk about them. Because
Sure.
I wasn't going to bring up those books because they were, like you said, just mediocre. I'll go next. I'll give a shout out to Year Zero, Volume 2, Number 1, Ben Percy and Juan Jose Rip. This continues to follow like 4 or 5 people who are just living in the zombie apocalypse. It's different people in this volume. It's just as entertaining, and man, the art is amazing. Juan Jose Rip is just killer. Also, Wolverine Black, White, and Blood, number 1. Jerry Dugan, Declan Shalvey, Matthew Rosenberg, Declan Shalvey, Joshua Cassara, and Adam Kubert. It was sort of 3 stories in one. That's just the brutality of Wolverine throughout the years. Like he was up against Hydra, he's up against Weapon X in one of them, and it was really just a take on the art with it just being black and white with red accents for the blood and different things here and there. I really like Wolverine stories, the standalone stories, and it's fun to revisit those. But my number 3 choice was, surprisingly to everyone, including me, Web of Venom, Empire's End, number 1. Clay McLeod Chapman and Guy Villanova. This read like a sci-fi horror in space, like Aliens, dude.
Awesome.
But with Kree and Skrull, like special ops team that was sent by Emperor Hulkling to investigate really far off colonies that have just gone silent. And of course, Null and the Horde is what made them go silent. I was shocked that this was so good. I was on the edge of my seat at one point. They got symbiotes going in their mouths. They got symbiotes like taking them over, and they're like, kill me before it's too late. And then he takes them over, and then the symbiote with the symbiote bubble, it's too late. And it was like, oh, what? It was written really, really well, and I'm hyped for King in Black, dude. Donny Cates has been killing it with Venom. This is not the last time you will hear the man's name before the end of the show. But this was not him. This was not him writing it. But it was a really good story, and I'm psyched for King in Black, dude. I'm not reading all them damn tie-ins, but I'm reading the main book for sure.
I'm definitely on the main book.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, that was my number 3 when nobody else read that damn book.
No,
I get
didn't
it.
read it.
I get it. I
All right, so my honorable mentions this week was Avengers 38, good
Nice.
McGinnis art. Batman 102, good art, but the story was meh.
The art was just okay. It was not on par with what it has been doing over
Yep.
there.
And then X-Men 14, awesome story of Araco, still gave me recycled art, so
wow.
whatever.
Go ahead.
But my number 3 this week was That Texas Blood, number 5, from Image
Man.
Comics by Chris Condon and Jacob Phillips. This is just your good old-fashioned, just Western noir, very much like No Country for Old Men. This issue, the sheriff takes a new deputy out to question some guy who may or may not be a murder suspect. And while that's happening, Randy, who's been sort of the, I guess, protagonist of the series, I don't know, kind of. He's not a good guy, especially in this issue because he murders somebody.
Did he?
Did he?
I don't think that dude was dead.
He wasn't dead at the end, but
it was hard to tell whether it was the guy saying "help me" still alive, or whether Randy was drinking so much. Because, dude, it had this great panel where Randy throws
fantastic panels. The art in this was fantastic.
I mean, it blew me away.
Of depicting alcoholism and being just like overcome by it, and overcome by your decisions and how everything just kind of cascades on you.
It was so well done, Taylor. Like the panels, went up like this. It was like straight on shot of the dude, and the panels went up like this with this red. And then it zooms out, and it's him floating in a pool. And then it zooms out again, and the pool is actually a bottle of whiskey. And then it's his character drinking the bottle. I mean, it was so well done. But then after that little panel, that's when he hears the voice. So is it in his head? Or
who knows?
And it's got great dialogue.
Fantastic dialogue. His girlfriend shows up at this at some point, and, he's trying to hide the body. Will also get rid of her, so he gets into a drunken fight with her because he's also a relapsed alcoholic. So yeah, there's a lot of great character interaction, great art. I'm just loving this series.
Yeah, not enough people on that series. It's called That Texas Blood. The first issue is actually a standalone issue. You don't need to read it.
Yeah, it is. You don't need to get anything else, and that issue is fantastic.
Yeah, issue 2 starts the main series, which we're into now, and man, when the sheriff, that old sheriff, Jim Bob, goes and interviews that dude, and that dude's like, no, I didn't kill him, but I wanted to. You find the dude who did it, let me know. And just the dialogue there, because I don't do it any kind of justice.
Oh, no, but it's so great.
Oh, it's so snappy, and yeah, like No Country for Old Men, man. It's really, really good. Really good. Taylor, number 2.
My number 2 is just X-Men number 14, which we've already.
My number 2 is X-Men number 14 too.
Well, my number two. Okay.
Well, just Adam does bring up a good point that we are kind of seeing a lot of stuff that we have literally already seen. And nothing about the Iraqi's perspective on the issue is particularly enlightening as far as like the overall narrative goes. But the character moments in this and the look into like a peek under the hood as to what these people are going through and why they're like this, that was good stuff. I really enjoyed it. That is Hickman doing some of his best stuff. And like we were saying earlier, he is getting us to care about these people that they are about to have mortal combat with.
He's doing a great job of making us care about 10 random new characters that we've never seen before.
That's what I mean.
He's doing it in like record time.
Bay the Bloodwind is the only one I wouldn't miss
because I just don't know anything at all with her. Yeah, so
I don't know enough.
Yeah, they have. Theirs is a tragic tale, and it's going to probably get more tragic from here because they're certainly going to fail because this is an X-Men event.
Exactly. It would have been better if they wouldn't have telegraphed the Annihilation Genesis thing so much. If that would have come out,
anyone who didn't see that coming,
exactly. It would have been better if that would have been a little bit more hidden.
This whole event has been totally telegraphed, but at the same time, it has stood up to that. It kind of proves that you don't need to throw a bunch of curves into the story to try to swerve people. As long as you're telling a good story.
Yeah.
Agreed. And
Right,
Hickman has a
it's
way
fine.
of telling you something without really telling you.
Right.
But then later on he confirms it and he's like, "Oh no, I was saying that the whole time." But
And he
like, "Oh, I knew that,
also does
but
a great way of
it's still
giving you a
great."
straightforward story with hidden depth underneath it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So as long as you're willing to look for that depthness, it's there.
You're absolutely right. There's sort of this balance between not enough information about a character where you don't give a shit, and too much information where, well, I hate that character now.
It's the
Yeah.
Darth
Boba
Vader
Fett,
balance,
Darth
you know?
Vader, exactly. Once you care too much, it's like, no, I hate this guy now. I know too much.
But yeah, execution is always more important than the tropes that you use, and curveballs for the sake of curveballs are usually a bad idea. So
Yeah.
this is a good
100.
illustration of that.
100. Even though it was copied art pages, X-Men number 14 is my number.
They did
Even that,
it in
yeah.
a good way, though.
It was a
Even that,
amazing technique.
I can get over it because I see exactly why they were doing
Right.
it. It wasn't
It was
laziness.
clever.
It was a
It wasn't
storytelling
just
mechanic.
bland laziness. There was an actual meaning to it.
Yes, it was.
This wasn't like
clever
Greg
and-
Land using the same fucking like smiling
Yes.
douchebag look that he uses a million times.
Exactly. And what a way to save money. What a way to sell a book to Marvel. Hey, I'm just using 9 pages over. Just do vinyl. $4 off the top. Yeah.
Hey, Lionel, here's a free
Marvel's
check.
always
Yeah.
looking at nickel and dime everything. Yeah.
Right. And Hickman's just touting the company line, just towing the line. Do it. Adam, number 2 book.
My number 2 was Marauders number 14. I liked Marauders more than I liked X-Men.
Wow.
I just loved all the character interactions in this one. I loved
Yeah.
everybody finally being together in the same room, finally talking to each other. We've been spending all of this time building stuff up, and finally people get to actually interact. Finally, we get people telling each other off, scaring people. You get Pogger Pog singing Pogger Pog things.
Right.
And then
You're right.
I really enjoyed the setting too. Just the way the banquet was with the pool, with the mermaids and everything. I just really enjoyed it all.
I
You're
too
not wrong,
like
dude.
this
Wonderful
one better
book.
than the X-Men book. It's my number 1. So
Wow.
it's been I really enjoyed seeing all the character interactions. Storm dancing with Death and Wolverine, like, why won't you bone her? And just and his guilt trip that he put Captain Avalon through was a good one.
Yeah, I mean, and for a book with no action, there was no action.
There was no action,
Well,
but
It was all character.
There was the
interactions,
fake out
dude.
cliffhanger at the end, which could be counted as
But,
action, but not really.
and I thought that was actually bad. That was the
was
worst part of
probably
the
a
book.
part-
That's probably the
Yeah, that's
greatest
probably the worst
criticism
part.
of the book is that I don't
The
know how
cliffhanger
much
don't
they expect us.
matter.
Well, like, yeah, it's one of those things where, like, no one thinks this is real. What's the point of doing it?
And even if it is real, Saturnine just gonna like, dude, this is my living room. You can't get the hell. Come on, can we just be civil, Logan? And he's been drinking a lot, and it's that otherworld shit.
Oh yeah.
So it hits
He's
harder.
been drinking all that damn mermaid piss, man.
Yeah, the fairy sweat or whatever the hell it was they were slinging.
That menu
so yeah.
was legitimately disgusting.
Oh yeah, the menu. I don't even have it
Yeah.
anymore. I already deleted it. All right, so we're up number 1. That was Taylor's number 1.
Yeah.
Marauders.
It's up to you.
My number 1 book this week was Crossover, number 1.
It's my number 1 also.
Donnie Cates and Jeff Shaw. The premise of the book: on January 11th, 2017, the skies of Colorado opened up, and what only could be described as a superhero summer event exploded into our very real world. This issue and series is dealing with that premise and exploring the socio-political, personal, and more impact of an event like that happening in the real world, but there's also a lot of layers to this.
Well, it's also this is just a love letter to comic books and comic book culture.
It is. It's a little difficult to explain, Taylor, but there's this girl who works at a comic book shop who is a big nerd, and she dresses in cosplay because this thing happened. But there are also a lot of people who have gone in the opposite direction, where their religion has now become anti-mask, anti-hero.
Because obviously there's a lot of death and destruction that occurs with big mega comic book summer events. So a lot of people in the world don't like superheroes.
But I mean, there's a lot of potential here to explore a lot of things. Okay, the cultural impact of comic books on the rest of the world and pop culture. I mean, you can't deny how epic the MCU is. The biggest thing in the world. Everybody's trying to emulate what they're doing in terms of their comic book stuff. There's everything. It's.
There's
I don't know
layers.
if there's anything.
It's
bigger.
about comics taking over the world. It's
That's
about
exactly
people being
what this
angry
is
about comics
about.
taking over the world. It's about the comic book industry dying.
Yeah.
But also about being the last, great bastion of community for a lot of people. There's a lot of depth to it. There's a lot of great dialogue.
Who is the comic code guy? Taylor Wortham?
Oh, the psychiatrist who caused
it
that
was
to happen.
Wortham.
Yeah, it was Wortham.
Yeah, there's a quote from him in here.
Yes, there is.
And that's sort of kind of drawing.
Yeah, but who is the other quote from?
The other quote was from Todd McFarlane. It said, "Kids love chains." So, I mean, but they're both saying technically the same thing.
Yeah, they are. It's
just
great.
From two different points of view. And I don't know, man. There's a lot of potential here. The story eventually involves to the point where at some point after this gate opened, somebody put a barrier over Colorado, like a magic barrier, to contain what was going on.
So all the superheroes are in Colorado.
So if somebody busts out or if somebody is found out, they're like immigrants and they're rounded up and they're caught because of this, sort of prejudice against these comic book characters come to the real life. But in this comic book shop where this lead character Elle works, they find one of the, like a kid from the comic books in there. And she's alluding to the fact that she knows who Superman is.
Like, honest to God.
Superman. Like, honest to God knows Superman.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's rad, dude. I was really blown away.
This is something that I'll definitely be trade waiting for.
Oh, yeah. It's going to make for a wonderful trade, man.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Jeff Shaw art is fantastic throughout it.
The design on some of those early pages where they're trying to sort of communicate the mayhem of when the moment happened, when the portal opened, and when the shit hit the fan. There's this great 2-page layout where everything is on top of each other and very informative, but still the pacing doesn't suffer with all of the information. Yeah.
The dialogue is fantastic.
Yeah. It's really cool, dude.
Yeah. This is definitely the winner of the week.
And it's got so many layers to it and potential, and man.
It's just a love letter to comics. That's all it is. Yeah, he is.
He is killing it with all this shit. It's such a good book. Such a good book. I'm glad I picked it up. So there's that. Taylor, yours was Marauders. That was a good book too. I don't know why I didn't put that on my list. I think it's because of X-Men. I'm a fanboy, an X-Men fanboy, and it comes out.
I know you're a Hickman fanboy.
He needs to
nothing wrong with that though.
He needs to be writing even more.
If there's one writer nowadays that you should be a fanboy of, it is probably Hickman.
Are you reading Decorum?
No, I'm not.
That's one you probably should trade weight to. It's in comics.
If it's not Marvel or DC, I'm always trade waiting.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. Man, we made it through another episode. I can't believe it was no news. But thanks everybody for coming by. We had a really active chat. I really appreciate if you were in the chat. Thanks for coming by. Tell your friends, share out the show. If you're listening on Facebook and or Twitter and or Periscope, which is Twitter. What did I say? Twitter twice?
Yeah, you said Twitter twice.
Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. Go search Outright Geekery or This Geek in Comics over on the other two platforms. And yeah, find us out. Look us up over there. Subscribe. Always tell your pals. We really appreciate that. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/Outright Geekery. We're only want $1 a month to continue to do what we're doing, just the tip. We're always happy to take more, but hey, every little bit helps keep the show floating and stuff like that. What else, man? We got a shit ton of other shows coming.
Eventually, yeah, whenever you schedule them.
Whenever I schedule them, Geekterion Collection, we're going to do a top 5.
When are we thinking the top 5 is going to be?
I don't know. Probably a week or 2.
All right.
Not this coming Tuesday, but maybe the Tuesday after that.
Before or after Thanksgiving?
Well, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I need to get with everybody and see, because there's a lot of people involved. You know, that's the hardest part is coordinating.
It's like getting a D&D group together.
It kind of is, dude. It kind of is.
That is
but
usually
yeah,
the trickiest part of D&D.
The Geekterion Collection, we're going to be reviewing The Matrix. We could do that freaking anytime.
Yeah, we can do that anytime.
I'm ready to mouth off about The Matrix at any moment. Like, you could wake me up at 3 o'clock, just give me a call, say, hey, Gomer, let's talk about The Matrix. All right. Let's do it. Anyway, what else? Oh, we got the Comic Book Bullies. They're recording, I think, tonight. Check them out on the Facebook channel for Outright Geekery, or just Google Comic Book Bullies. They're a great show. We also have Creators Outlet with Big Willie. We got OK Boomer with Big Willie. He's doing his 5-minute reviews throughout all week long. Keep right here to this channel to see more of those. What the hell else we got, man? I know we got something else.
Do we? I don't know, man. I thought that was
hard
it.
to keep track, bro. I should write this shit down.
Yeah, you should be prepared for your own show.
I should write that shit down.
Well, once again, why start now?
Sure. AKA David will be back at some point. He is writing the novel of his life.
Not even he knows.
Put that at the end of all of this. We should just put that at the end of the show on like a little placard, like in all the Marvel movies. AKA David will return.
AKA David will return in question mark.
Yeah.
But yeah, he'll be back sooner or later. And yeah, that's it, man. That's all we got. I want to thank most of all these two jokers for hanging out with this joker the whole time.
Yeah, man. Anytime.
We'll do it again. Oh, don't let us keep you up, Taylor.
Dude, I have slept for like a combined 4 hours this last week.
Dude, I drank so much last night, nothing was keeping me awake. It was like 1:30, and I was like, man, I'd love to watch another episode of The Office, but I'm going to have to go to sleep. Awesome. We'll do it again next time.
Same geek time, same geek channel.
That's when I miss David the most. At the end there.
Yeah.
Hey, come on, man. He did a little fist pump and everything, man. What do you want?
He did a little dance kind of with it.